Let's just make sure that the pause.
Okay. Set the two screens so we can see them. And then you get it rolling. We should be on, right? Nice.
Yeah.
All right, get some peeps.
Okay.
All right, start it going, rolling, peoples. Well, we still trying to figure out how to make these goddamn freaking videos all freaking work together as we're restreaming around the world right now on all our platforms. Yo, what's up, people? Welcome to another jam session with VNA. What up? So today we are talking about some important shiz.
Oh, yeah.
We're talking about how do you stop burning out with the one-on-one client work, the busy schedule, because and this topic came up because we had a bunch of people on our strategy calls this week, and we're talking a 20 plus a year plus expert, a 30 plus year business owner, and they're like, yo, 20, 30 years in, I'm burning out. I love making the difference I'm making. I love working with people, but is there a way to help more people, make more money, but yet have more time in life? And I said, yes, there is. Yes, there is. And we're going to talk about it today.
Yeah. And especially the people that, oh, okay.
I can grab something.
Vito's taking off. But especially those of you that are looking to build the brand, the business, go online, pivot your existing business that you have now. We know that you can't just like pick up and drop everything that you've been doing. So you're actually going to be working full time and building a business, which is the majority of our clients. And that's a tough place to be, right? Where you're not just like, oh, I'm going to like take time away from my full-time job, my income, and I'm going to just put it all into this brand and business build out. When we started, we were in that boat too, right? We literally were like, okay, we got to work multiple jobs. We got to build the brand on the side, but we can't let this destroy our health, destroy our relationship. Many of you are probably parents, and you can't let that destroy your family and your, all of this.
You just need some NyQuil blow pops. NyQuil blow pops help put the kids down. When they're down, you're cranking away. You're just like, I'm cranking away right now.
You all know he's joking, right? He's joking. Disclaimer. My husband doesn't say anything that's real unless it's business related. 95% of the time.
95%.
Yeah.
Half the time I'm saying it the way it is, Anna.
So I think that you guys are probably in agreement. This is a tough spot to be in when you're pivoting into a new business build out, when you're trying to manage everything that you're doing. How can you do it without burning out? Because you're trying to sustain that level of service that you're already giving and now give more of yourself. And I think it's important to really kind of start with
Go ahead.
Some of the high performance things that we do.
Yeah,
I want to share a lot of the health and
let's do that. But I mean, like
performance elements.
To Anna's point, listen, if you're in the phase where you're like, I'm doing this part-time while I got a full-time gig, main thing is you better set a big vision about why you want this, because without big vision or that big dream, you will just still fall back to, I don't have the time, I don't have the this and that, I'm already stressed, I'm already burnt out, I'm already doing that. And you'll stay doing what you're doing for even more years and then be like, oh, I wish I had started it back then. And the only thing I've found that truly makes a person like, is, Anna was sharing like when we started with this, I mean, I was at a point where I'm like, I was running a brick and mortar studio, just started a network marketing business, and was just starting my online business. So 3 businesses all at once, was 105 grand in debt, and just lost my house. So I had all the reasons to be like, no, now's not the time. I can't make this happen, etc. As compared to, I'm like, I had the dream to be like, I don't want this life anymore. And we had that kind of like that no more moment. What's that moment when you say no more? No more I'm living like this. No more I'm staying like this. No more excuses. No more waiting. No more wishing. No more hoping. No more praying. I'm going to get to doing it. You have to have that moment and anchor it to a vision bigger than you think you can do right now, and then grow into that and put that everywhere you can see in your life, because that is the North Star. So before we get into actual high performance shit, I'd say know your North Star.
I think the one thing holding a lot of people back from saying, this is my no more moment, I'm actually going to step into the next phase of what I know needs to happen, is this fear of, can I actually do this, right? Can I go to the next level? Do I have the energy? Do I have the time? Do I have the capacity to give even more than I'm giving now? And I think that is because many of us haven't done the work to invest in ourselves when it comes to our energy, when it comes to our productivity, when it comes to our courage, when it comes to our mindset, and all of those things that have to grow within us in order to say, no more. I'm capable, I believe in myself, and I have the capabilities to do this. Because what we want to talk about today is not just the business strategies, but the personal development strategies.
All y'all knew that Anna fought me over that. I was like, I'm going right to the business stuff. I'm going right to the marketing, right to the brand. And slow your roll, Mr. Always Business and Brand. Let's talk some high performance. I'm like,
there's moms out there. There's people, there's parents, there's people that aren't in this business world already that are thinking, I have nothing more I can give. There's no way I can build a brand. There's no way I can build a business. I'm already capped. And what I want to express is that when I decided to invest in my performance skills and how I was able to manage my time, manage my energy, manage my mindset, manage my fears, when I was able to do that at another level, I had more capacity. It's like when you do become a parent where you're like, how am I going to do this? And then you're just thrust into it. You're like, oh, all of a sudden I have the ability to do this.
I knew how to be a parent intuitively. Intuitively, I know how to be a parent.
Still doesn't know.
No training.
He's still developing the capacity to contribute.
God, if there wasn't a guide or somebody telling me what to do, I'd be like, I don't even know. Thank God.
No. Can I share one thing?
No, stay focused.
No. Last night, as we walk into the room to go to bed with Luca, read stories, it's nighttime, it's bedtime.
Threw up my back.
Vito walks in with Luca, and Luca's chewing on a piece of chocolate. I said, what did you give him? Just a little piece of chocolate. A little piece of chocolate. The kid went
smaller than this little apple.
He went
this carrot.
Crazy.
I gave him a little piece of chocolate because he's like a piece fell off a bite I was taking. And Anna's like, what do you mean you just gave him chocolate? I'm like, how bad could it be? Dude. The kid was a terror, like jumping on everything. I was just like, I don't know if I've ever seen that. So there is truth to this sugar and kid thing.
I mean, we all know this except Vito. Now he knows. He had to experience it for himself.
Watching him.
Right? But like,
I wish I videoed it. I wish I videoed it because it would just be manic. Then you put it on a faster speed, and that would have been a great freaking video.
And he was naked. He wouldn't let us get him dressed.
He
had to be naked. Couldn't put on his pull-up. Couldn't put on his jammies. It was like in and out of the crib, running out of the door, in and out. It's like I thought he did a marathon last night, right before bed.
It was awesome.
Anyway.
So
he's got his energy managed.
You can sell me on your course anytime.
Yeah, moms can sell Vito on their course of managing children.
Okay, so we said if you're going to avoid burnout and you're going to get out there, number one, you got to have that no more moment and you got to set that big freaking vision. Because to Anna's point, the fear and the way we're already doing things, I can't get any more in. Those are real reasons. They are. They're real reasons. But they're still not what can be in your way, because we can continue to use those and then more time passes by and it doesn't look like I'm getting older, but we all get older. Me, I've been kind of trapped.
Fountain of youth.
Look
right
at
here.
This fountain of youth.
Yeah. He's had those gray sideburns since I met him.
Ponce de Leon had nothing on this, but we are truly all getting older that we can't keep falling into the current capacities and capabilities that we have. We have to stretch into new ones, right? And the ones that we've found, like, I don't know if you guys have ever done the seminal work and read Brendon Burchard's High Performance Habits, The Charge and all that stuff. He's a good friend and mentor, and we're certified coaches through him. And if we didn't have those things back then, we wouldn't be where we're at. So we're just trying to be like, listen, besides like the fact that like I wrote all this marketing stuff for you, but Anna's like, dude, you don't want to know the marketing
No. They want to
stuff
know
right
the marketing
now."
stuff.
Yeah.
They want to know the marketing stuff.
We're like, let's talk what high performance pillars and habits helped us get through and getting out of the burnout.
Because all the marketing strategies in the world can't give you more energy. Can they?
I don't know, when my
No.
ads convert, I get energy, but that's different.
If you don't have the energy to make an ad, shoot a video.
When I
if you
make a
don't-
sale, I'm like, oh, it's amazing. Yes. I
Those
still
are the-
get pumped. I don't care
Those
what
are
little
the
sale I make.
endorphin rushes that you get when you've got the energy to produce, right? And so, all fun and games aside, it really starts with you. No strategy, no tactic, no marketing plan, no business plan, no business coach is going to help you develop success in your business unless you can show up as your best self.
That's right.
And that has to do with your energy, your mindset, has to do with your productivity, how focused you are, how clear you are, and what you're getting done. Because I could sit around all day and literally achieve nothing if I don't have a plan, like a productivity plan. If I am distracted, if I am doing multiple things at once, so all of these things combined into a big ball is really what we want to talk about first.
Well, so if we're going to talk productivity is going to be essential to getting out of the burnout, because you're going to have to go build this new thing, right? You're going to have to build the exit strategy from what you have. There's no way around it. So, but productivity, besides like the fact that I'm like, okay, simple thing. Do you actually block the time into your calendar to do like build business, build brand, whatever you're going to write in there? When I had my studio and I'm like 5 a.m. till 10 a.m. was clients, then a workout. And then there was that window of like 12, 1 to 3:30 before the next wave of stuff. But I still had to do shit for the gym, and I had to do stuff for team, and I had to do stuff for this and that and whatnot. And then I had my Beachbody business. And I'm trying to do all these things. Like if it didn't show up in the calendar, it wasn't even getting done. So blocking shit into your calendar is key. What's not in the calendar, don't get done. So easy thing to do there. But the second thing that a lot of people don't think about when it comes to productivity is, are you doing the right thing? Like Anna and I both have done many times that you're like, oh, I'm off trying to build this podcast as compared to I'm trying to figure out an offer that can make me more money, that I could do this and that. So I can either hire more people and get my ass off the floor,
Right.
or I can figure out this online thing and get off the floor. And I was just talking to somebody today that is in one of our programs, and I'm like, where you at? And she's like, here. This has been going on during COVID, blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, great, still, I just need to, where are you at? I'm here. What's your plan to get this thing to the next level? And like, my website, some blogs, and this and that. I'm like, is your offer in the market? No. You didn't do your workshop or your offer yet? No, I don't have that nailed. I'm like, fuck the blogs. Fuck the website. That's not good productivity use, because you're doing the wrong thing to get the result that you need first. You need to cash flow the business, right? So I'm like, productivity means you also just have I'm like, what
Needle
should
movers.
I be doing right now? Especially when you have a limited amount of time. When you have a limited amount of time and you're doing the wrong thing, all of a sudden you wasted time, and you can't get wasted time back. That's the one asset none of us can replenish, right?
Amen.
So get the people around you that are also like, what you doing? What? Stop doing that.
And there's
Stop
also,
doing that.
in regards to like block time and making sure that you're doing the right things during the block time that you have set aside, where you're not multitasking, you're not trying to do a million things at once. You actually block that time to do the one thing that you need to get done. Besides that, it's also important to then say, I don't have to do everything.
Oh, amen.
Here's the thing. Yes, we are all like kind of the masters of design. Like, we're the creatives. I know that if you're an entrepreneurial spirit, you can do all the things. And what I realized in my own life and in my own journey, I was like, okay, I can do all of the social media. I can do all of the writing. I can do all of the web stuff. I can do all the offer stuff. But what is it that I'm best at? And who can I delegate the other stuff to, right? Who can I get help from? And what actually doesn't matter like Vito said, like what isn't the needle mover for you? You don't have to be the master of all trades, the jack of all trades in your business. And if you decide on, okay, what's most important? What is most important for me specifically to do? And what can I delegate? That's just another way to increase your productivity, right? So it doesn't always even have to be outsourcing. Sometimes I just cut stuff off. I'm like, you know what? So what? I didn't post today. I got a freaking script written that needs to go inside something else to sell an offer. And that's the trade-off, because you can't do it all sometimes.
Jess will be mad that you said I didn't post today,
I know.
so you know. But
Jess.
I believe in evergreen assets as well. Always focus on evergreen
Repurpose.
assets. But repurposing
If you
stuff.
can't create a fresh post, reuse
Okay.
one you posted
So,
a month ago.
you set your vision. You got a bigger vision. You said no more. I'm going after this big life. You decided I'm going to be productive, which means I'm going to block out some calendar time. I'm going to make sure I know needle movers and what matters, and I'm going to delegate or get rid of crap that is not moving me towards the vision. I get, should we have probably prefaced that the best way to get out of burning out is like go build an online business? I'm assuming we all get that. Maybe I should have prefaced that. This is all aimed at that, because an online business is what allows you to finally automate a lot of what you're doing. I was on with somebody this week that is just like, so when I build an online business, I don't want to be having one-on-one clients. I'm like, you're hearing about an online coaching, like that's online coaching. That's not an online business per se, where I'm like, you figured out your brand, you built your system, you built your stuff out there. So I'm just making sure that I'm like, the number one thing is take your expertise, package it up, get it into a freaking online business and brand so that you can automate more of what you're doing. Does that make sense? I'm just making sure. I'm just double checking. Okay, now we can get back to the fact of...
I'm not even going to add anything because I think you said enough, but I mean,
I think that was a relevant point.
If you're in our online business success secrets group, which you should be, and if you're not, we'll have to put a link here in the feed because I know this is on multiple platforms and people might want to get into that group. But that's where we talk about the benefits of building an online business to free up your time, because most people do build a business that starts to take more and more time away from their family, more away from their lifestyle, versus give them more family time, give them more lifestyle. And what we always preach is this is why an online business gives you more freedom and lifestyle, and not take it away. You don't build yourself and bury yourself into your business like a brick and mortar business might do. And many of the coaching consulting
or just our service professional based lives that we've all probably had. Right. Like, ain't nothing wrong with them. That's what we learned. That's how we came up. That was the time. But here we are in 2021 where you're like, building an online business or brand is just a simple I don't want to say simple process, but it's a process. It's a process where we're like, we know the steps to do it and how to get there, et cetera. But what a lot of people are thinking about, so I'd be like, because if you want to minimize that, you do have to start figuring out, how am I going to speak to a specific audience versus everybody? And how am I going to be able to teach what I teach without having to freaking only do it when I speak to people live, whether it's offline or online? It doesn't matter.
Right.
Like, I see people doing that in the online world. I'm like, the classic online coaches, they coach a process, but they're like, every day I got to show for the 60-minute session. Every day I'm doing the 60-minute session. And I'm like, well, we just traded the fact that, like, you don't have to go to your job, which is better. At least you get to be from home. So you gained all the commuting time back. You gained all that stuff back, and shit, that's a lot of time. And now the world just recognized, of course I can do all this online. But what we're talking here is more about the idea where you figure out, I'm clear on who I specifically serve, the big pains and problems I solve, and the outcomes I get them. And I take that and I turn it into a process that can be systemized. Because if you do that, you don't have to be like, I don't have to coach you physically what I teach, theories, principles, concepts, frameworks, habits, practices, etc. You guys get the idea. Just the stuff that we normally would be coaching a person through. You can automate that, and then that allows you to scale your time to more group, where you're focused on, like, I don't got to do as much one-on-one. Like in our program, we've got hundreds of people where I'm like, I'm coaching everybody through the same process, through the same goal, through the same outcome, through the same problem. So it allows me to serve all by serving even the one, because it benefits everybody that's going on that journey. This is why if you figure out really that mission that you want to be about, that thing that you're like, I really want to help parents of freaking special needs kids know how to get them through and know how to get through that period of your life where you're like, I don't do, like, I see cats, so it's easy for me to use this example, whatnot. It's not like, hey, I just do breakthrough coaching, because you're like, man, there's a lot of people teaching breakthrough coaching. There's nothing wrong with it. But I'm like, ooh, tighten that up a little bit more to breakthrough coaching for parents of special needs children. You just took your, like, what we kind of call your who in your market, and you're like, I am at the highly specialized end now. And because you move there, you can charge more. Because you can charge more, you don't have to work with as many people and still make the same money. Now you're like, I don't need to book myself 8 hours a day of clients. And I still can do the deep work. I now systemize my process so it freaking does the teaching on my own. I mean, now we're jamming.
And I use the example a lot to Fit Pros because that's where I was. I was coaching one-on-one. Then I moved to small group. Then I moved to boot camp. Then I was still capped.
I did the same.
And I still had the energy problem where I was like, I can't do this schedule still. It's crazy. I'm like dying here. And what I realized is that, like, I'm teaching the same stuff. I'm just repeating myself over and over and over again. I'm taking people through the same process, but I'm just doing it in a different hour. What the heck am I doing? So it was like, okay, let's extract the process and automate that part so that when we actually work with people, we're able to get to nuances. We're able to actually dig a little deeper on other things. Like, how many people in the fitness industry get so frustrated that their clients don't actually get the results that they want is because you're so limited in the amount of time that you actually get with your clients. Because when you're not there together, they're not getting value from you. And I was frustrated by that. So I was like, I need to add more value, right? So I needed a system. I needed a way to start automating more of my coaching and my wisdom and my advice to actually help people get results when I wasn't there, when I wasn't live, when it wasn't my time, and I didn't have to keep repeating myself over and over and over again.
Like, what I'd add to that to think about is, though, so like, remember, you have limited amount of time. Those of you that have kind of come from a thing, they're like, I only got so much time to teach that person. And then at the next window, I hope I get them a little shot and whatnot. The other problem with that style of us trying to impart the knowledge to help a person get results is there is no order to it. There is no, next week, if something comes up and I gave you just some random tip because you said something in a session and whatnot, I'm not teaching you a linear process to get the result. Hence why it becomes ineffective in creating repeatable and duplicatable results, or it takes so much longer to get the result that the person's just like, I basically aged out of your
Vito's hitting the desk, so that's why you guys feel like you're on a roller coaster when he does that. Sorry.
But that's the thing. And if you guys, not necessarily tied to burnout, but do you want to know the secret to charging more in your program and getting the people value more? If you understand how much faster speed to the result changes how much a person is willing to invest.
Yep.
If you're like, it's going to take you 2 years to get this as compared to 6 months, they'll invest more for the speed. And that's why the process really allows you to, like, oftentimes in the beginning, you're like, oh man, my process is pretty good.
Yeah.
I got it down. But all of a sudden a year later, you're like, I tightened that bitch up. You're like, that thing is so much tighter now. So I took what was taking me 6 months to coach. I got it down to 4. Now your offer just changed because you could charge what you were charging for 6 months, but get it for 4 months. And now you're like, I just changed my economics in my life. Trust me, you'll burn out less when your economics change. Because you're just like, number one, I can do a lot more massages, a lot more spa days, a lot more freaking just whatever.
Which is exactly what he does. I mean, when it comes to energy, you think this guy has energy, right? You should see him when he's not on camera and when he's with his son. so much energy, right? And he's not a young buck. He's not that old, but he's not like, young chicken. And the thing is that the reason that he's got the energy he does, works out every single day. Every single day. It's a block time in his calendar. Every single day he's doing something.
2
Today it was
massages
yoga.
a month, like
He did his
clockwork.
stretches. Then he went in the sauna. Self-care time is a huge thing for both of us, right? We
Mhm.
schedule it. We eat well. We sleep. We go to bed early. And I don't care what anybody says. He makes fun of me. But sometimes it'll be 8 o'clock.
7:15
And I
is
am
not a good bedtime.
ready for bed. I'm like, I'm either going to watch TV and numb my brain because I got nothing left to give from the brain. I'm ready for bed, right? So you just have to make sure that some of those energy habits too, seriously, tighten those up, because then you can show up for people too, especially when it comes time to deliver a program or to deliver some kind of content
Well,
that is going to be automated.
If you're gonna group coaching to scale your time is one of the most effective things that you can do, right? And so let's just say you build your system and you've scaled your time to group coaching. If you're growing a serious business, you're going to eventually start having where you're like, I got 23 people on this call. I got 10 people. I got 50 people, etc.
Yeah.
And you're like, at that point, it's like you're on stage. So you're like, I need to be able to command my energy during this, that if you don't make energy focuses, recovery and all that stuff, part of a normal skill development in being an entrepreneur, a visionary, a creator, a legacy builder, whatever words you want to use for what way you view yourself, if you don't make energy habits and practices and part of that, you will not be able to perform at a level that commands the attention of the many. And then you have to go back to the one-on-one because you're like, I can't, I don't know how to manage like the energy of 50, 60. Like when you're presenting and you're in front of 5,000, 6,000 people, you're like, holy shit, I need to command this. And it's literally a skill we work on.
You have to develop it.
Has to be. Has to be a top priority.
It does.
Not just the marketing, the sales.
And for a lot of us, we know what we need to do to elevate our energy, but we tend to be lackadaisical with it. Oh, it's not a part of my schedule, or it's not a consistent thing I do daily. It's like your supplementation. We drink superfoods every day. We've got our omegas. We've got all sorts of stuff that we do on a daily basis because it's just a non-negotiable. It's what we have to do in order to create what we want every single day and what we're shooting for as our legacy work is concerned, right? And so you're like, all right, what is it that I know I haven't been doing that I need to start doing consistently in order to level up the level energy and, whatever it is that's you need to get it out of you. You need to focus more. That doesn't happen when you're lacking sleep. That doesn't happen when you ate crap. That doesn't happen when you're even forgetting lunch. Doesn't happen when you never work out and your body is always feeling stiff and tight. There's no blood flow in your brain. All of these things, right? So get the list and think about, what if I did something today that would 10x my energy? What is it? And start doing that daily. Right? And if that means going to bed early, that means going to bed early. Because Vito can talk about building the signature system, but you're never going to do it if you're tired and if your brain can't think, right?
It's true. It's true. I like that. I will allow that answer to be accepted into the framework of today's
I'm
coaching.
being mom today and he's being boss man. Like he's teaching the business and I'm being like, guys, if you don't rest, you can't get your stuff done. But it's true. There's a combination of the two.
You sounded like a grandma.
Sorry. I'm not a grandma. I'm a mama.
Yeah.
Mama bear.
Okay. But what other tips would you give them? Because then I'm about to be like, let's reiterate our business and marketing
I think
points.
I said enough about energy. We talked about productivity. I want to talk a little bit about mindset.
I always feel we talked about clarity and focus. Did we talk clarity and focus and just the ability to have focus and clarity? Well, we kind of talked about when I'm like, you better know what you're doing. You better be like, yo, this is the stuff I know I'm supposed to be doing here, and the ability to focus on that. Yeah. Because without that happening, you never actually build the thing that gets you out of the one-on-one training, that gets you out of the one-on-one client service, and you keep there, and it's just years go by. So clarity that you're like, I want out, I know what I need to go build. If you don't know what you need to go build, that's what you get into a program like ours for, where we're like, we'll show you what you need to build. And you build it in this order. So that allows you to be like, okay, this is what I'm supposed to be doing right now. And that's what I'm supposed to be doing that. And that's what I'm supposed to be doing that. And if I don't do that, and then I get on a call and Vito tells me, he often makes fun of me on the call. And then all of a sudden it's just, there I am at the point of that. It's always a little moment, etc. I can't help it. I hit everything.
Keep hitting the desk. Stop.
But so order and what you need to build, no problem. Get the freaking roadmap. Ask us for it. You got clarity, you got some focus, you got some energy, you got some productivity dialed in.
That's right.
What else?
That's right. So here's another thing about avoiding burnout. When it comes to your energy, obviously, your mindset plays a big role on that. That's your stress levels, right? So if you're overwhelmed all the time and you have a lot on your mind all the time, that's high levels of stress that clutters your brain. There's a thing called meditation. And I know everyone's be like, oh my God, you're going to get all woo-woo on me. It's science. People, it's science. You must calm your mind to lower stress and to create clarity. So if you're not thinking straight, if you're not able to focus, if you feel overwhelmed, if you feel stressed out, if you have high levels of like panic sometimes, or you just like freeze because there's so much you're thinking about that you can't even take action, you need to work on your mind. You need to work on calming the mind, meditating, and stopping all of the thoughts, at least for 3 minutes a day. I tell people, take 3-minute brain breaks. I've read a book by Heidi Hanna. It's called like Brain Health. What is it? I have it up there. Anyways, she talks about 3-minute brain breaks, and she does them multiple times a day. And when I learned this, I was like, oh my gosh, that's the way to get people started who have never meditated before. They don't really care.
Solution.
Yes, the sharp solution. Love that book. It's so simple. It's about brain health. Right? All about brain health. And if you're not focusing on brain health, you're missing a big component of overall health, right? That's like your hub. That's where every operating thing is happening. So just taking 3 minutes, a couple times a day, maybe start with once, and you breathe and you don't think about work. You don't think about kids. You go out, you're present, you look at the trees, you listen to the breeze, whatever it is. You have to work on this too, because a lot of people can't stop thinking for 3 minutes. It's hard for people.
In that though, I'd be like, ditch stuff that you don't really need anymore. Simplify life. I think we try to get. I think society's pushing a lot of us into the Achievatron machine.
Yes.
And then we're in trying to be achievement, accomplishment, etc. versus alignment with what you want in your life.
It's truth.
So clarity of the alignment of what matters to you most allows you to strip away the things that are eating at your mind, making your mind frenetic and frantic and all that stuff, as compared to being like, figure out what has to go. Is it serving anymore? Is it getting me more towards the goals? The ability to be like, well, if I do want that and there's other stuff getting in the way, well, now I'm not going to get there.
And it's hard to get that clarity if you're going 100 miles an hour. If you can't calm your mind to slow down all the thoughts, it's hard to find the focus. It's hard to get the clarity. You have to, like, Vito doesn't like to meditate. Let's be honest, right? He's like, whatever. But Vito will sit in his Adirondack chair. He will sip on his wine and watch the sunset, right? That's his way of settling, giving his brain a break, allowing himself to calm down.
The only way the voices finally stop.
Yeah. So, or even if he has his journal, gets the thoughts out, organizes the thoughts. There's multiple ways to like calm your mind.
The demon's always trying to get out.
And they try to infest my mind, but I'm like, no, I meditate, people. I got this on lockdown, right? So you have to protect your brain. You protect your thoughts. You protect your energy that way. I can't emphasize this enough. This has changed my life. And I used to grow up with a family of 5 brothers and sisters, a single mom. We were always going. We were moving. There was so much chaos that when I got out of college, I was still very, very anxious all the time. I was in the Achievatron. I didn't know how to settle myself. When I learned how to calm, how to slow my mind and slow my thoughts and actually not think, it changed my health. It changed my life. It changed my stress, changed my productivity, and all of those things that I was able to then start paying forward to people that I was working with. So this isn't something just to like say because it sounds good. This is really important if you're in the burnout phase, if you're not taking care of that brain. Get that book. I love Heidi Hanna. She's great.
Just start developing those habits and practices, and then remember what we said, that's your high performance side of things. And then there's your business and marketing side of things. Right. You're going to do what? Oh my God, everybody said I'm going to build my signature system. Awesome.
System for
that
coaching.
I can get specific about who I serve. I can build a process for how I can get results.
Maybe we talk more about that next week.
Yeah, we talk about that all the time.
We do.
Because it's the cornerstone of what we found to build the freedom lifestyle. Because the more focus you have on, this is my thing, this is my niche, my specialty, my transformation, etc. There's a million ways to say that. And you're like, I built the process to deliver that result. I can unplug me from it, which means I don't have to be as much in the coaching one-on-one space. The system becomes the X. I mean, you all realize that this is just based upon like what we've learned from, and literally even McDonald's. How it runs as a system is why the 12-year-old kid can freaking push number one and death comes down the tubes from there and whatnot. But nonetheless, still a model, McDonald's. Sorry, we know your death comes down. Push number one, the Happy Meal is death, basically. But nonetheless, that, as well as you learn from the top coaches that have built certifications and things like that, they're like, the way my work has scaled beyond me is I had to create a process to deliver the result so that somebody else could teach it and or I could automate it. Yeah. Otherwise, you only can get results by you physically coaching and verbally speaking. There's no way out of burnout then. You have to figure out, I'm going to be known for this. This is the transformation. I made a process for it. I got so damn good at it that the damn thing can run without me anymore. Now, I can choose to still be in it, but I get more freedom in my time, or I could choose to be out of it and the thing can go on, or I can pass it on to others. And then that passing it on is where we start talking about legacy work. But you know, that's a conversation for another day, because legacy can seem so far away, but we build legacy in the day-to-day. We build our better life, we build our better model, we build our better businesses so that one day our legacy can be there. But we never get to that without like being like, I'm going to get known for something and I'm going to have this thing down. And this is my specialty. This is my gift to the world. This is the artifacts that will be left behind. This is my footprint in the sand. That's the only way you're eventually ever going to be able to scale yourself out or scale yourself down, if you will, without having that process, that system, that program, that there's a million ways to say it. You guys kind of get that and all that, and build that, put it up in the online world. Doesn't mean you don't have offline people. You still do have offline, but you put it up in the online world, and then you learn the engine behind selling it, marketing it, getting it known. Because you can build the system and they will come has never been said. You must market and sell to the system. Otherwise, it's just like what people think. I'll build a website and they'll come. I'm like, no, they ain't. And your website won't do crap.
That was me.
Unless you're like, I did that too.
That's why I can make fun of it. I built two websites and thought they would come.
65K doing that.
I only lost 25K, but it's still 25K. And it's a lot of hell of the time and energy and all of that stuff. So,
that's it.
We're giving you advice based on experience.
Any quick questions, thoughts on that, that, and we can take a few minutes. I got about 7 minutes before I got to bounce to go get the. Am I going to go?
Sure.
Damn.
I'm making chili.
You make chili. I like that. And I will go get lubed up. Q&A.
Any questions? I like seeing the restream questions too. Oh,
somebody from your friends here from Peru. Sugar. I can't tell if this person's being funny. I jumped on and it sounds like I need to listen from the beginning. I'm fried right now.
I'm glad they jumped off because you need your sleep more than you need our preaching.
That's pretty funny there. But
that's hilarious.
All right.
Cool.
No cues, no questions, no feedback, no just thoughts. What's your thing
cool
out there?
Cool. Hi. Can you hear me?
Hey, Joan.
Hey, Joan.
Long time no see.
Hey.
Well, I'm really close to, I hit my international market 2 weeks ago.
Awesome.
And I've now got an international manager
Wow.
who's going to launch all that. So that's good. But tomorrow I'm leaving for very cold Detroit.
Ooh.
8 degrees. And I have 2 groups of 13 to 15-year-old dancers.
Nice.
So I've been brought in. So finally things are moving, and there's about 10 to 15 interested in purchasing.
That's
Yes.
it, girl. See, you're in that
Nice.
phase that we just
Shooting a
talked
lot of
about.
videos.
You came to Vision in the Vineyards. You systemized your coaching. Now you got to be in that selling and marketing phase.
Yeah,
You gotta be
yeah.
like, I got to
Right.
sell and
Well,
market
I've
the
been
thing.
putting the videos together, which has really helped a lot. So
Perfect.
you will see my XYZ app finally introduced with this integration of videos of these people I've been working with. So
Love
Hey,
it.
the
it took me a
important
long
thing
time, but
is
it's happening.
this has been your dream.
Yeah.
Is to work with these dancers and to pay forward all of your experience and your wisdom and all the knowledge that you've obtained over the years. And so you finally packaged it up so that you can give that and pay it forward. So that's amazing.
right.
Congratulations.
We've kind of, I want to ask you a question is, I kind of also, the people in, well, starting with Japan, but the former competitive aerobic people are very interested.
Cool.
So it's kind of like, do I
Yeah,
they call
'cause
them
why?
happy dance?
But
in
why?
Japan?
They all
So-
got hurt. Their all bodies are
Wow.
freaking dented, and they want to still maintain. Their problem is, I still want to maintain that level of activity, but my body broke down on me from all the years of abuse on it and
Yeah.
whatnot.
Some of them are
repetitiveness.
young. They're like 20.
Yeah,
But
That's 'cause
still,
we put
they've
them
been
in-
doing it since
we
they
put
were
them
young,
in the
right?
Chivatron machine at 5 now.
Yeah.
So
Yeah,
we're
this guy
wrecking
had
the
coaches
youth
for us
body.
since she was 8. Yeah, and
Yeah.
she's a world champion now. So
Yeah, that's it, girl. I mean, this is your this
anyways,
is if you keep working it, if you keep promoting it, if you keep taking people through it, if you keep selling it, if you keep marketing it, if you do not go, this becomes your legacy work. This is what you leave behind. You're going to help
the
these
person
people.
who's always broken.
That's it.
Get back up.
Hey, they need someone too, Joan. You're their go-to
That's
person.
it. Oops, darn.
I know, it's pretty funny. But
I love
anyway,
it.
Good
just
to
wanna
hear
let you
from
know
you.
it's been moving forward.
That's
Good
awesome.
freaking
Thanks
hear.
for sharing, my friend.
Absolutely. All right, guys. That was another little episode of the Jam Sessions with VNA here. We will catch you guys
Oh my gosh,
next
V
week.
and A.
And L for loser.
That was kind of a loser thing. I never even realized it, but this is the kind of banter that
Yeah.
happens at home. So
Yeah.
sorry you're invited to that, but
My
we
chili
love you
will be
guys.
poisoned.
We will see you next time.
Peace, guys. Have a good night.
Good to see everyone.
Ciao.
Bye.